On the news, 279 abducted girls regain freedom. Senate confirms service chiefs. And hike in fuel prices as scarcity hits Lagos. Many thanks for joining us in News Now. I am Mary Kanu. It was cheering news across the country as the schoolgirls kidnapped from Government Girls Secondary School Jangebe in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State last Friday have regained freedom. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale, who confirmed the news to newsmen, said the girls were released with the help of repentant bandits without any ransom paid. This next report has more details. These young girls are happy to be home. After 5 days in captivity, they are full of joy to be reunited with their families. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale confirmed the figure of abducted girls as 279 as against earlier reports by the police of 317.
With the help of our repentant bandits who work for these days since Friday up to yesterday by 4 a.m. in the morning, when they reached and conclude with those that kidnapped these children, were all in my house. And today, around 11 o'clock in the morning, with the help of the security agencies of the state, we mobilize them with securities and vehicles to go and convey these children. The numbers were kidnapped is 279, and no one was missing.
It's been days of sadness. As you can see, today we are very happy to receive our children safely and securely, and they are all complete. So we are grateful to Almighty God for their safe return, and we are grateful to the security agencies and the state and the repentant bandits who helped in securing their return.
The whole thing is under police investigation. It's after the investigation we'll be able to outline the details of how, when, procedure and circumstances that was employed in entering the school and in getting out of the school.
The released girls arrived at the Zamfara State Government House in Gusau early on Tuesday, wearing face masks and light blue and brown scarves. They also had breakfast and were scheduled to visit the hospital for medical checkups before a reunion with their families. The governor said no ransom was paid to secure the release, but security analyst Patrick Agbambu says negotiating with bandits will not address the issues.
There are other ways of negotiation in security that I know which could have been adopted. For instance, the bandits asking for the release of some of their arrested commanders or fighters, and government accepting to that and release them back to the bandits so that tomorrow they can continue. I think if any negotiation or any discussion should be held, it should be when you don't have your citizens in their custody. Then you can negotiate from the position of strength. But negotiating from a position of weakness, I strongly disagree with that.
Agbambu also advises the federal government to provide adequate security in public schools instead of asking schools to take up such responsibility. The Nigerian Senate has confirmed the appointment of service chiefs with a charge to go after insurgents and bandits so as to restore law and order to the country. The confirmation of the nominees followed consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Defense during plenary. Chairman of the committee, Aliyu Wamako, in his presentation of the report, said the Joint Committee on the Navy and Air Force screened the 4 nominees and was satisfied with their qualifications, exposures, conduct, characters, experiences, and general performances.
The Joint Committee on Screening has carefully and thoroughly screened the 4 nominees and was satisfied with their qualifications, exposure, conduct, characters, experience, and general performance, the nominees have displayed wide and in-depth knowledge on strategic tactics and military operations.
Mr. President, I have no doubt that Mr. President has selected the very best team to pilot the affairs of the military establishment for the next how many years, as the case might be. So, Mr. President, I very wholeheartedly support this nomination and appeal to my colleagues to so confirm.
We expect them, our armed forces, to take the fight to the insurgents, to take the fight to the bandits. In a situation where bandits will come to a school, take over 300 students on motorcycles and disappear into the thin air without any trace, it's not acceptable. Something has to give, because apparently this is becoming an industry. Some people are benefiting from this, and we have to unravel who these people are and fight bandits and insurgents until we rescue our country. Let me also advise the service chiefs that there must be interagency cooperation.
After their confirmation, the service chiefs attended the National Security Council meeting at the State House in Abuja. The meeting is the first President Muhammadu Buhari is holding with the new service chiefs after their appointment and confirmation by the National Assembly. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Monguno, while addressing State House correspondents after the meeting, talked tough on the Council decision on whoever attempts to destabilize the nation.
The President has charged all of us to redouble our efforts, especially in view of the occurrences of the last couple of weeks. The predominant issues raising concern for the entire nation remain kidnapping, banditry, and of course terrorism in the northeastern part of the country. He has also approved that Zamfara State be declared a no-fly zone with immediate effect. Now, all non-state actors that have been causing problems for the innocent peoples, not just in Zamfara State or the Northwest Zone, but also the Northeast and other parts of the country in the South-South, have been placed under surveillance by the intelligence agencies. But I want to stress once more that any individual or group that thinks it can take it upon itself to cause disunity, disharmony, and to render this country, push the country to the brink, should have a rethink. Any individual who thinks he has any support and who thinks he can undermine this government, anybody, any human being, as long as he's a citizen of this country, any one person who thinks he's the cat's whiskers or he can be Rocky on the perch and lead us into a situation of unhappiness will have himself to blame at the end of the day.
The federal government says the successful development of vaccines and the accelerated process for emergency authorization has brought hope to humanity all over the world. Secretary to the federal government and chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, said this on Tuesday while taking delivery of the 3.9 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines. TV360's Abisola Adebayo reports.
It is a consignment that has been long expected. Finally, the delivery of the AstraZeneca vaccines make Nigeria the third country in Africa to receive the free vaccine from India. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the arrival of the vaccine marks a significant milestone in the national response to the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. He says prior to the vaccination phase, Nigeria introduced and promoted the non-pharmaceutical interventions which remains very valid measures to take under the infection prevention and control policy.
As of today, unfortunately, over 2.5 million persons have lost their lives globally. And in Nigeria, our record stands at 1,900 plus persons that have lost their lives. The successful deployment of these vaccines today is as a result of the purposeful leadership provided by President Muhammadu Buhari and the support of the National Assembly, with the major financial support from our friends globally.
The federal government is, however, urging traditional rulers, religious leaders, civil society and the media to help disseminate the message to Nigerians ahead of the full rollout of the vaccine in the coming days.
We will begin the processes after the test by NAFDAC of deploying these vaccines for the vaccination exercise. And it's going to be in 4 phases. And the objective is that by the time we get to the 4th phase, 70% of our population would have been vaccinated. These vaccines are safe, they are very effective and efficacious, and that I would urge at the time of vaccination and deployment, if you fall into the category that will be vaccinated, make yourself available. It will do you no harm. Nobody is intending to kill anybody. This is for the good and well-being of Nigeria.
We're still working around the clock to make sure that when the vaccines arrive, we're able to test it very well. Once it gets to the warehouse, we're going to sample to be sure that what is coming from India is of quality, that what came from India is what our own people will be getting.
The UN country team in Nigeria also reiterates its commitment to support the vaccination campaign in the country and help contain the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, the federal government has opened an online portal for Nigerians to register for vaccination. Also, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, members of the National Assembly, ministers and the Inspector General of Police are expected to be vaccinated on March 8, 2021. Abisola Adiba, TV360, Nigeria.
The strike action embarked on by the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuffs and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria has been on for less than 2 weeks, and the South is already feeling the heat, especially Lagos State. The union embarked on strike a week ago due to the government's failure to meet up with its 475 billion naira compensation for losses suffered to its members. The union has consequently stopped all foodstuff and cattle from being transported to the South. In this report, TV360's Tunji Oye visited the biggest beef market in Lagos to assess the impact of the strike.
After a week without trailers load of foodstuffs and cattle discharging in Lagos, the impact, to say the least, is being felt by almost everyone.
This is Abattoir in Agege area of Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. It is in fact the biggest abattoir in the entire country. Now from this location, more than 20 million Lagosians get their daily supply. Also from this abattoir, other parts of Lagos, Lekki, Ajah, Ikorodu, Ekpe, Badagry, all get their stock from this location. We are told that before the strike, an average of 13,000 cows are slaughtered here on a weekly basis. But today, the story is entirely different.
There are no cattle coming in from the north as usual. We don't have animals, we don't have cattle. We don't have cattle. Go to Ilepo, Mile 12, all of these places, tomatoes, onions, yam, tubers, they are not flowing as usual because of the strike action.
Beef seems to be the determinant of price of many other food items and services, as other items too have witnessed a sharp increase in price.
1,000 people go lose their business. Million people go get hunger. Because of now, the malu now, see the malu. This malu now, this one where you see, Before, this Malu, pass 60,000, 70,000. Highest 80. But now, the Malu go reach 120, 130, 150. The butchers, now they don't tire to kill. The first day, they don't buy them, rush, they buy cost. So they go short.
I bought meat, 13,000 naira, 165, 6,000 naira. The one that I bought 6,000 naira, I was able to get 6,200 naira out of it. Is that market? Is that business? No, is that business that we are going to do, that we are going to survive? After they say people are stealing, they say kidnapper. Why kidnapper will not be there? Why people will not kidnap? Why people will not steal? No, tell me, my brother. Many people are here, they are working here. This is where they get their money, this is where they get their pay. And at the end of the day, they cannot get money. Okay, tell me, when they enter street and start carrying gun and start entering people's house, why are we going to say it, my beloved brother? Meat of 13,000 naira, 13,000 naira that I buy. Out of 13,000 naira meat.
Now shortage with the short. You understand? Like last week now, I do business now. Almost 40,000 naira short from business what I do. So that I just sit down like this. Nowadays, we don't feed our family for ourselves.
Beyond the high cost of food items occasioned by the strike is the probability of job loss by many who are in the chain line of beef business. Many may be out of job soon if the strike lingers for long.
We work on when they kill the cows, and if they didn't slaughter the cow, we can't make our money. We make our money when they slaughter the cow, when our van load the van and take it to their various destinations. If they can settle the issue, it depends on how we now know that maybe it's going to affect the drivers or affect the company as a whole.
I think the sources of our business here is cow. When they bring cow from another side of Nigeria. But by now, these people, they told us they are on strike. No cow arrived here. Everything sick. That's why you can see all of our motor vehicles parked.
In the midst of this, General Secretary of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers in Nigeria, Ahmed Al-Larama, in an exclusive interview with TV360 says the strike will not be called off anytime soon.
This strike is indefinite until government pay us the ransom that we have asked them to pay. It's indefinite strike.
While the South is feeling the heat of insufficient circulation of foodstuff, farmers in the North are also losing a lot as the goods are perishing in the farms. It is, however, important at this point for government to intervene and resolve contending issues so that normalcy will return to the system. From Lagos, Tunji Oye, TV360 News. Would you like it too?
A chief magistrate court in Abuja was thrown into confusion on Tuesday as activist and publisher Omoyele Sowore appeared in court with a traditional priest who he says is a supporter of the Revolution Now movement. Court attendees were thrown aback when the individual donning the full regalia arrived in the company of Sowore. Sowore and his co-defendants are being tried for alleged criminal conspiracy, unlawful assembly and inciting public disturbance after they were arrested at the Gudu area of Abuja on New Year's Eve during a protest against bad governance. After the first witness testimony, the case was adjourned till May 7th for continuation of hearing.
Every Nigerian can be represented in a court gallery, whether they are traditional priests, as you like to call them. And why would you call your own religion traditional when you call imported religions sophisticated or civilized? This is how we Africans undermine our own cultural beliefs and practices. So you see an African well-dressed in court expressing his religious rights and beliefs. You call him a herbalist. Is he wearing herbs on his head? Would you call somebody who's wearing a cassock a herbalist? Would you call somebody who is carrying a rosary and wearing a toupee on his head a herbalist? So
This person here is a supporter of the movement.
Nigeria has no adopted state religion. So if he decides to have a traditional, or if he decides to worship Sango or Ogun or whatever God decides to worship, and decides to have his chief priest in the court as we have him today, I think it's within his right to do so. The states commenced a proper trial today. They called the first witness who came to court to testify against the Nigerian states in a manner that is unprecedented. The trial has commenced. The case was adjourned to 7th of May 2021 for constitution of hearing. So we're back on that day to continue the case.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, 2.9 million farmers benefit from CBN's Anchor's Borrowers programs. Details after this break. Well, glad to have you back. Now, here's a quick reminder of some of our major stories tonight. The Nigerian Senate has confirmed the appointment of service chiefs with a charge to go after insurgents and bandits so as to restore law and order to the country. The confirmation of the nominees followed consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Defense during a plenary. We also told you that the federal government is talking tough on attempts by some elements to destabilize the country and cause ethnic rivalry. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Mongono, said this after the National Security Council meeting at the State House, Abuja. Missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms in Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Nigeria has recorded 360 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 156,017. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the 360 new cases were reported from 19 states, with Lagos leading with 120 cases, followed by Edo and Kaduna states with 38 and 25 cases respectively. The Public Health Agency further revealed that 8 deaths were recorded in the past 24 hours, raising the country's fatality toll to 1,915. So far, a total of 133,904 cases have been discharged from hospitals and isolation centers across the country. Well, we'll take another short break here and return with business updates. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll now join Abisola Adebayo for the latest development in the world of business. Over to you now, Abisola.
Thank you very much, Mary. 6 years after the flag-off of the CBN Anchor Borrowers program by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele says the initiative has catalyzed Nigeria's rural economy and revived the contributions of the agric sector to national development. Speaking at the CBN Anchor Borrowers program in Kebbi State, Emefiele disclosed that since inception, the initiative has financed over 2.9 million smallholder farmers who cultivated about 3.6 million hectares of land across 21 commodities in all 32 states of Nigeria. The CBN governor further gave details of the successes recorded in Kebbi State.
We are witnessing the harvest and sale of over 200,000 metric tons of paddy. This paddy will today be sold to over 18 rice mills that we have in Nigeria out of the over 30 that we have. Just like we have already given the rice farmers the money for the Anchor Grower program, we will be disbursing the paddy aggregation loans to those millers that will be picking up their paddy here today. They will use the proceeds of those loans to pay off the rice farmers, so farmers can pay down their loans. And as they pick up the paddy to their factories, they will now mill the paddy into rice that will be sold at moderated prices. We are doing this because we made the choice to say we will no longer collect money from our farmers. That when we give them seed, when we give them fertilizer, when we give them other inputs that they need to produce paddy, that we will receive from them in return, not money as repayment of their loans, but paddy, which is what we need very badly for us to ensure that we can truly produce food for our people.
We'll take a break here and return with Stock Market Review. Stay with us. Despite kickstarting the month of March on a positive note, the Nigerian stock market unfortunately shed gains to record losses at the close of trading today at 222 million shares valued at 5 billion naira. Exchange hands in 4,470 deals on the floor of the market today. Market capitalization, however, as we can see here, closed at 20 trillion naira, which is over 100 billion naira less compared to previous. The all-share index also closed at 39,931 basis points as profit-taking efforts in some shares accounted for the most losses today. 26 losers rallied against 16 gainers. Those losers include M-Benefit, Ardova, Champion, and the Initiates PLC with a combined 2 naira 47 kobo loss. Conversely, on our gainers list, we can see Academy, PZ Cousins, Better Glass, and Royalex with a combined 4 naira 51 kobo gains. However, moving on our foreign market today, which is FTSE, Dow Jones, and Nikkei. The FTSE is closing in the greens, recording a 0.38% gain. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones and Nikkei could not manage to keep their heads above water as Dow Jones closed at 0.33% loss and Nikkei closed at 0.86% loss. That's all on Stock Market Review. It's back to Mary for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much for that update, Bisala. Well, up next is Entertainment Report.
Popular Nigerian novelist Chimamanda Adichie has lost a mother, Grace Ifeoma Adichie. Her mother's death comes 8 months after the author lost a father who died after a brief illness. She is survived by 6 children as well as 9 grandchildren, in-laws, and many relatives. Funeral arrangements to be announced by her family later. May her soul rest in peace. Big Brother Naija reality TV star Erica has been unveiled as one of the lead stars in a new Chine Love Eze production titled Devil in Agbada. The forthcoming movie follows the tale of 3 strangers who team up on a mission to bring down a ruthless politician. The movie stars Linda Osifo and Efe Rele in leading roles. Uche Jumbo, Desmond Elliot, Uzwa Rukwe, among others, joined the film's cast in supporting roles. While a release date is yet to be confirmed, Devil in Agbada will premiere in cinemas this year. And that's all we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment and now to sports. Super Eagles striker Odion Igalo scored twice as Al-Shabaab continued their push for his 7th Saudi Professional Football League title following a 2-1 away win against Damak on Monday. The Nigerian put Al-Shabaab ahead in the 12th minute and also netted the winning goal 6 minutes before the break. The 31-year-old has now scored 3 goals and provided 1 assist in 5 league appearances for the Lions. Well, that's the latest update on News Now at this time. Thank you very much for watching. I am Mary Kanu.